sorry, Raz. It's going to happen anyway. It's just going to happen off camera. You're not going to see it.
Oh, my God.
We're going into game 3. Second Kassadin of the LPL.
Oh, we're right on time, too.
Let's do it. Doing it live. Game 3. JDG and Snake. Kassadin in the mid lane. And Zoom has his Yorick. This one's going to explode. Not to mention JDG Imp on Vayne.
There is so much happening here. Vayne there for Imp to have his skin. I don't know, his skin is Twitch. I was almost, yeah, I made that. I was going too wild there. But that being said, right now Snake got what they wanted. Bottom lane priority is there. I know Vayne is a good matchup, and the Morgana will be able to deal with the taunt that Galio has ready for him. But if I'm a Gragas here, I would love to be able to get a look in towards the bottom lane, because the Galio taunt hits 2 members, and a lot of the time the way you play out the 2v2 skirmish between Vayne and Morgana, you're very close next to each other.
That's right.
That being said, let's take a look at Kassadin.
Ah, the presence of mind that you talked about with Doomby.
Yeah, so we get to see it once again. He has the push of the minion dematerializer, but let's materialize what's happening in the bottom lane.
Oh, Flawless very early gank here. Now it's not Levi. Raz, I know you're not going to be disappointed by this, however, with the Shield of Grand in, the flash away from Ashura, getting hit early. Flawless Ignite goes down. First blood on Imp's Vayne.
That reminds me of RNG. Pick Vayne and gank the bottom lane right from the get-go. He goes straight through his red side jungle, doesn't even go towards the Krugs. Guess what? All you need is level 2 gank there. That means they split up the sides of the map. SOFM has to find something valuable here. I think he'll just go in for a blue buff invade, pick that up for himself. There's not much you can do here in the top.
Well, he's not even doing that. Going back to the Krugs or his red side of the jungle. So nothing lost here. Flawless straight to his blue buff. Double buff as Fen just loses out so hard, man.
The matchup is difficult here. Remember, even Electric, he wants to get up right close to get the damage on him. So from Yagao's perspective, matchup should be easy until you hit that fateful level 6.
What did we see with Doomby's Kassadin that debuted the other day?
What do you mean?
Remember, what was the matchup into from memory? Was it the LeBlanc?
It was Corki.
It was Corki.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So very different matchup here, of course.
But he had the lane control that Corki did at that point, but we dropped into that series right when level 6 had hit, so we didn't know how the trades had been going. And in the LPL, a lot of the time, the team with the Kassadin tries to play, like throw as many players at it, put the control words around it, keep them safe. Speaking of safe, can you keep him safe?
Shielded around with Black Shield. 1, 2, 3. Ashura's out. Imp will get traded back, but man, this is so rough for the Kalista.
Imp is holding a grudge. When he got Vaned and he was playing Kalista, now he's in that reverse matchup and he's laughing.
He's going well. Flawless going to come in here as well, but not spot out SOFM. Gromp shielded away. Level 4 on the Gragas versus level 3 and Flawless. We'll have a heavy focus in this series towards the Kassadin, because remember before, Doomby went for the Righteous Glory as the, I think it was 2nd or 3rd item here on the Kassadin after a Rod of Ages, which we don't see too much anymore.
Yeah, it was the Seraph's Embrace, the Rod of Ages, and then he went towards the fateful Righteous Glory when he was not going up against a pretty heavy armored team. That was literally like, you gotta get John Zonia's, my friend. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But of course he wanted the active movement speed. So he's special on that front. But in this game, you expect Fen, who's another marquee Kassadin player.
Yeah.
He's picked up the fleet footwork, so he should be fine in the laning phase. Remember, it does scale off of AP as well. He's gonna be fine in being able to pick up minions here. He's pretty far behind. He has a 10 CS disadvantage. That's fair. But one thing you have to be afraid of if you're Yagao is that if you don't punish him heavily, that Gragas and Kassadin is essentially picked to be able to bully you at level 6.
Yeah.
And so SOFM stealing that Raptor camp is nice. He's getting closer and closer.
Wow.
That's going to be fun.
Another lane for JDG. Added to the list. Thunder's got a big wave coming in, so he'll actually be ahead of Zoom in CS.
This is where a battle's going to come.
Baller over the wall. SOFM's got a level advantage here, though, Raz. He needs this big chicken, otherwise Flawless is going to lose out in the trade.
But Syndra's going to have a stronger battle power there. Flawless is going to be the one who wants to double down in a potential fight. Yep,
he's hit level 4. SOFM bops him away. Get out of here, sir. Drinks up. The new walk, absolutely tilting if you're Flawless.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Wants to punch him in the face.
There you go.
Right back at him.
Knock up again. Is SOFM being too greedy by staying? Just does the exact same animation again.
Just as he jumps right in, he lost his Conqueror stack. He was at 3, he dropped it off, he went 3 again. That would have been a lot if he was able to re-hit him. I think he sees him on that bush, he's going straight towards Krugs.
Fen. Yeah. Yagao hits level 6 first, Fen's behind in the lane, Maestro's coming up. But Luamal's here too.
You can't afford to miss this minion wave. He's fine.
Okay, is he though? Another orb comes down. Yagao still has enough mana. No blue buff though. That's probably it.
And he doesn't have teleport because he used it prior. So it's harder for him right now with how far behind he is in lane.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's just a constant battle.
Flawless picked up the Scuttle Crab though. Still winning out on these smites. As Flandre pushing in the top side of the map.
And Flandre trying to do his best to get Zoom off that minion wave. If you see the CS advantage that he has for himself, it's a pretty excruciating one here for Zoom. So Flandre doing well in his own matchup as Zoom starts picking up all these waves. And Fen keeps up until 6. That's a mission accomplished right there.
Yep.
That he's able to achieve when he was on the Kassadin pick. Now he comes back into the lane. He'll miss up a next new wave. But now if you're Yagao, you're going to have to be clinging onto that flash. Gragas is going to be looking for you. You know that the Galio was picked to deal with that mid lane battle. So it's all about how Snake comes back now. They may have that gold deficit, but it's all about that composition now online.
A lot of natural power in the blasting one there, but Fen in the mid lane still has his flash. Let's see how the Realm Walk goes. Sorry, not Realm Walk, Rift Walk. SOFM picking up the red buff now, crossing the river. As the roam begins here from Fen. Let's go. Scuttle Crab going to deter that even more, but Fen ready to move up to this top lane, it seems like.
This is when it gets hard for Fiora, early in this matchup. And here comes SOFM.
The Maiden's out though. Zoom's still doing a lot of damage as he flashes away the Maiden now in great peril. Give him his wife back.
Get him.
The papers are signed.
Kill him.
She's walking out the door.
Get her.
The Maiden. Oh, she lives. Come back here.
64 HP.
She's not going anywhere. Not this time.
Oh no, so close.
Thank you. And get out.
All right, he got what he wanted.
Yep.
But whenever you're going for a gank or a 1v1 on towards the Yorick, if you can get the kill on towards, the ultimate that he has, then that's just a lot of damage that he loses. And Flandre has been doing so well into the matchup, but if you go all in on that, and now he knows he went all in because he had SOFM behind him, but think of it as a 1v1 scenario because prior to this, he was doing really well.
Yep.
Just bullying Zoom. But now he has an extra partner right next to him that's just dishing out the damage constantly. And that changes the matchup, so you have to be targeting out that ultimate now that you have.
It's a trade-off in the bottom lane. Mountain Dragon there for the top side pressure that was excruciating there. Ultimate comes into Fen, ignites down. He might actually be able to turn though. Corrupting Potion, SOFM comes in. Gragas belly box falls coming in as well. Explosive cast just works perfectly. He wouldn't have even foreseen that.
Yeah, it's like he didn't want that, but he did. Trying to set up to get Syndra bouncing towards Fen. That would have been an assured kill on towards Yagao, but at the same time, if Flawless was in that fight, JDG would be a lot happier about that situation. So it's interesting. I guess that's exactly what he wanted, and he just didn't even know it yet.
Literally both flashes down now for the jungles as well. Let's add to Yagao. Oh, Fen.
Oh no!
He can't back here. Fen. Smack down. Realm Leap. Walk. Limp.
You're just gonna do, yeah, limp. That makes sense.
Well, that's what we started calling it,
Yeah. Every stage right now, if he's at low HP, it's the limp. If it's that, high HP, he's doing well for himself, then he's on that Realm swag. The Realm swagger.
Hell yeah. We've seen 2 Kassadins now. I'm starting to think this pick's getting more and more popular in the LPL. I don't care if we've got someone who played it time and time again. It's doing okay into this matchup. Having said that, though, Yagao's going to get a lot of turret plating.
Yeah, you're saying doing okay as
he's
losing this much free gold.
Okay is a variable word, right?
That's fair. So that's the issue here, and that's why people are, persuaded against going towards the Kassadin pick. Because the lane presence that you have is non-existent. You're doing a lot to get to that level 6 mark. And then, at that point, if you don't have anything that can propel you for that, like if you don't have, like if Gragas is falling behind, for instance, and that's what's happening in this game, then it's like, well, you can't engage in a 2v2 because you don't have that pressure. You're saying, well, what about the Galio? Right now, Imp and Lumao are holding their own in the bottom lane, have that kill lead that they had because of the early game. So Fen doesn't have help.
Yep.
He's just going to be hoping that he can get towards his Rod of Ages, gets himself on a side lane, and just starts farming until this happens.
Oh yeah, goes for the 1v1. Remember that Yagao
Get
still
him in
has
there.
ultimate, but he doesn't have enough mana.
That's what makes this matchup hard, is Yagao doesn't have flash because of the prior fight. And now Fen has the mobility to leap away from the stun that Yagao was trying to set up for.
Still the CS lead in the mid lane, so I'll stick with OK for now. Fen trying to roam and help out the jungle in the 2v2, which it seems like is going to happen again. Flawless and SOFM have been butting heads while leaving this bottom lane. Imp still going so well down here. So much gold in the hands of JDG just due to turret plating. Now maybe for the kill.
Oh, he got it!
It comes through. Unleash power. Let's go. Yagao has enough mana, but only just. SOFM just watches his mid laner die.
He didn't know how he got. He wants to do a replay on that one too. He wants to check up on how production was able to get that win because he didn't even know how he got hit with that stun. He round walked right out of there, but still got hit by that stun. So well done from Yagao to be able to pick up a solo queue. Solo kill.
Solo kill. Oh, yeah, feels like solo queue if you're going into a Kassadin. You get solo turret plating down on the bottom lane for Imp as well. 110 to 96. Blade of the Ruined King to Cutlass. Imp is having a great time down here, and JDG are too. Look at the scoreboard. Now 3,000 gold. Looks like game 2 all over again.
This is what I'm worried about. I said that going into game 2 to game 3 that I wanted to see more pushing lanes. Now, Fen got exactly what he wanted, but that one orb really hurt him.
Yeah.
He wanted to be able to get past that, but the stun still hits him. Yagao still has able to, use the outplay button. Gets the kill on top of Fen. And now the strategy that Snake have is gone to the wayside. Gragas is behind, Kassadin doesn't want to look for a fight any longer, and the Kalista is just constantly responding to the Vayne. The only real strength here, and this is much better from Snake in the drafting perspective, is that Flandre is ahead in his matchup and will now be able to be that power point for his team.
Yep. If one side lane is behind, if one pushing lane is behind, go to another. Adaptation here from Snake needs to be seen. SOFM and Flandre have played together for so darn long. I mean, Flandre is the core to Snake. Every iteration of Snake Esports in the LPL. So, 30 CS ahead. This is the star player. If you want to see someone ahead to carry, this is your guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fact. He wasn't able to do that on the Vladimir, but right now he's set up to succeed.
He is.
Going straight for him.
He's going down to the bottom lane while the rest of Snake have found their pick onto Zoom. Flash away again. Zoom not having a great time. This time the wife maybe caught out a little bit too hard as Rift Herald picks up the top lane turret for JDG. So let's go back bottom lane because I think, no, wife is still alive. Zoom, very good care. No, she now dies. Okay.
I mean, I thought you were talking about this swap that's been happening here. Bottom lane tower's taking a long time to go down. This is difficult now for Snake to be able to deal with.
Well, they're losing out on mid as well at the same time. Rift Herald gets 2.
Won't be able to get the third one. Kalista should be able to get the kill on the Rift Herald
Didn't
before
even
he
get
hits
one.
the third tower. Yeah, it's rough.
Snake.
Now think about it in this perspective. Oh my god. Or this works.
Fen dunk. Ooh, he's coming back in for farm. Now, I'm not sure. That's right, get over the wall. JDG going to get another turret too. 3 for 1 Raz. And Fen's gone.
13 minutes into the game, not only do they take all of the outer turrets, they take the top lane inner. This is far worse than it was in the first game, because at least there was some fighting effort from SOFM. This game, he's just so far behind. And AP Gragas going up against such great amount of damage from Syndra and Vayne. I fear from his life. Like, I don't think he'll be able to find any more impact until he's able to really stem the bleed from Fen. If they find a miraculous way of slowing this game down, a Baron steal perhaps, then yeah, Snake have a chance, but this is hard.
If we're not going to see a Baron steal from Rogue Warriors, the team that has the most Baron steals, I don't think we're going to see one from Snake.
All right, you're making some generalizations now.
Yeah. Why not? At this point, Snake still fighting for, I guess, tournament life, spring life. And JDG looking to secure 9 wins is a very good case to make playoffs. Doesn't mean they're 100%, but with the way things are going in that 8th position and the final bubble of playoffs, then there's an opportunity here for JDG as Snake revert back, pick up a turret on the top side, so it's not over just yet.
Look at that deep control ward from JDG. In your mini-map, you'll see it in the top lane. It's right next to where that inner tower used to be. That's going to be important. It's a control ward. It lasts forever until someone runs along it, but no one will. My reason for that is because there's always, like, Zoom has teleport. Zoom will be bottom lane. Oh my god. Good
pick off. Imp caught out, bopped around like a human Trebopoline. Lumao misses the binding here in the middle. So SOFM was wondering if he's going to get out, but he burns the flash to do so, or rather to find the engage. Good pick off there for Snake.
Yeah, scrap my point about Zoom having teleport too. He even used it to see if they can turn the play. So that control ward's going to have to take a back seat because they got Imp and they got nothing back.
Yeah. Snake have freedom. Go across the rest of the map. Rod of Ages is stacking as well. Raz, you asked to see the game delayed. Well, Imp lost a lot of gold. Went over to the side of Snake.
That's true.
Now we're talking. That's the first kill of the game for Snake. Went onto Ashura. The Kalista needs some kind of mid-game presence to deal with this Vayne.
We need a few more Imp moments. That's what we need here. In this game, Snake is banking on the fact that Imp will find himself once again Vayne spotting.
Yeah.
I think this is his favorite skin, by the way. He's gone to this skin almost every time I've seen him.
He has. Flounder might have one of those moments himself. Level 11 versus level 7.
Flounder doesn't have those moments. It's Imp that has those moments.
Just him.
That's my take right now. I think Snake right now, one of the biggest risks for teams that are on, find difficulty in closing the game is that when they have the lead too early on, simply because there's no clear objective for them to look to finish on. If, Baron comes up in 20 minutes, well, that's like 5 minutes for you to have a discussion about what's the next objective for yourself. And so if you're not spot on at being able to place deep wards in the red side jungle if you're looking top side, then guess what? You start to falter. Like picks start to come through on the opposite side.
Yep.
So you have to be disciplined at this range of the game because there may not be a clear answer, but you have to be able to create that. Right now, they're going straight through the mid lane. I like this.
Yeah, Zoom just bringing the Maiden with him as well. Flawless coming too. SOFM's caught out in a bad position, but it could turn it into a good one. Turn around here from Flawless, dunks him down. Solo kill from jungler to jungler. They say hello. Yagao takes a kill. JDG, they can just keep going mid.
Yeah, you just wanted to be a guard to begin with. You just wanted to see if there's anyone coming in the flank to the right. You just sees Gragas doing the camp, and he's like, all right, I'll take this. 1v1. I have warriors.
He's so far ahead of the other jungler. Finally picking up Runic Echoes there for SOFM, but on his deathbed, loses another turret. Snake keep trying to quell this gold lead. JDG aren't slowing down. Baron's coming up in 2 minutes. Cloud Drake's there as well, which personal favorite. That doesn't matter. JDG just showing us their levels of comfortability, looking like a playoff team.
Backing at the right time. This is the proper time to back. You have 2 minutes until Baron buff comes up, and you have a Vayne that's really close towards Quincy's Rage Blade. I think she has it now. We'll see. Make sure. And Yep.
There you go.
She does.
All right.
Right on time. So now you just have to go top lane, mid lane, get that shove out there. I know Asura's trying his hardest to clear out the control.
Yeah, you got a
wards
lot of
and
control
have this
wards
shove.
to take,
That's nice, isn't it?
That's 60 gold.
But he needs to be able to set up for his team so they can delay the Baron run right now, because if you look at the composition JDG have, Flawless is relentless. When he has Cataclysm, he just jumps right in there. And Zoom, I don't know if he's going to be there with the team. You see him walking mid right now, but I would love to see him going through side lane and looking to stop the teleport, but obviously he doesn't have that of his own.
Yep.
I think JDG might call an audible and have him join in on the Baron run.
Yeah, why not? Still only has the Trinity Force with a Ninja Tabby as well, so might not want to go up against Flandre in this 1v1 and sit in the side lane. And there's so much kill potential from actually both of them as well, depending on how the Maiden goes. Maiden's almost up too.
Playing a safer game here. They still have a minute until the Baron comes up, but that's a minute that they could be using, pushing up top lane, getting the controllers all levied. Right now, Snake have a sigh of relief knowing that JDG are picking up the Cloud Dragon, and you can see what SOFM is already doing, clearing out the Baron area, seeing if there's a cheeky ward that he can place himself to see if they can catch JDG doing Baron once they find their way eventually up the top lane.
Fen was doing more or less the same, just clearing out that enemy jungle, getting in deep.
That's why I just didn't like JDG's call there. There are so many more teams that will, in that situation, say, why would we go towards the Cloud Dragon when we have all of the pressure?
Yep.
We have push in both top and mid lane, and right now, all Snake's trying to do is scale up to a point in which they can manage them. So they're just giving them a little bit of time. I think JDG still will go and reclaim position up top side, but it stalls them out.
Zoom pushing the objective. This is what's going to force Snake to come down here. As you can see, Flounder and SOFM are already here. Locked on down, but with the Maiden, a 1v2 might be easy here for Zoom. Cage down as well.
Yeah, he's suspicious of what's happening here.
See it with the barrel. Control ward in that brush means that Zoom has full aware that SOFM's down here. Look at the move from JDG.
They see SOFM on the bottom side of the map, and they're trying to regain pressure. Now, remember, them going towards the Cloud Dragon and not doubling down on the top side of the map means that Scuttle Crab goes to Snake, so they have a little bit of time. They have a little bit more vision. I think it's only going to last for about 20 more seconds until that Scuttle Crab leaves. But for now, Snake have a good idea of JDG and where they are.
Zoom's moved up. Teleport not available, so has to be here, just sitting here waiting. Not even going to take that ward away either.
That's all their trinkets. That's all gone now from Snake.
Oh, Scuttle goes too. We begin.
How are they going to stop?
SOFM needs to go on for a steal. They play the 50-50 Baron.
Okay.
Flawless is on the outside. Was that a failed body slam from SOFM? Not too sure, but the Baron's off anyway for JDG to get the stun with Scatter the Weak. Flandre at half health. JDG let the Baron recover. SOFM is still at the front here, waiting to see what happens.
And look at mid lane. It's Snake getting this push in, and it's taking the tower there, punishing JDG.
Yagao knows they're moving into a choke. They've found the front line first. The explosive cast sends them out into a 5-point star. Ultimate used by Ashura. Maestro's out of the fight. Where's the re-engage? Because JDG can just heal this up.
This is crucial. JDG can just walk straight towards the Baron and start that one back up. Look, they know that there's no vision. It's going to have to be Snake that takes that first risk.
Watch Yagao. Scatter the Weak's going to be the thing that picks it off. Maestro locked on down. Black Shield instead. Then Scatter the Weak. Imp finds one. JDG continuing forward. Imp going to chase after Fen, but it is the Realm Limp. It's not even a Realm. Doesn't matter. Pick off there for JDG. Now Baron, a real threat.
Now go right back to Baron. This is just oppressive. This is what JDG did in the second game, and it's only getting worse here. Snake needs to find a way to get into the pit.
And now Yagao plays spoiler on the side. Look at this. SOFM is 2 levels behind him. Here we go.
This is gonna be sad. Wait,
Flandre.
he can go in now.
SOFM still available. 50-50 Baron, is it still there? The cage zones him away. SOFM can't get near it. Baron goes down. Scatter the Weak from Yagao. Flashes forward. Unleashes hell. And Yagao finds the opening pick. JDG is a 5-man stack. Gets slowed by a barrel roll. Flawless walking towards SOFM, but still one quick pick from JDG to silence the fight.
I was worried there. The moment you see the full combo coming out from Yagao, I was like, wait, do they have any way to keep SOFM out of the pit? Zoom says, hell yeah. Send that extra bit of terrain out there. Try and body slam through this. Your belly can't keep that far out.
I've never seen something so small affect such a crucial point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just smart. Big brain on this man, but take a look how it all starts. They get the pick on towards Galio pretty easy. They even send Fen to the right. And the moment you zone him out that far out, you know you've got yourself a Baron run here.
Can I ask, what is happening with Yagao's orbs in that replay? They're going absolutely nuts. They're spinning at about 5,000 miles a minute. 3-0-1 on this Syndra as well. So, probably the tempo of his play so far been pretty crucial. Alongside Luomao has gone silently into that night in a good way. I don't know whatever that's good. But JDG, 5 members bottom lane. Let's go again. Baron buff. Big push here.
Kassadin's top lane, and where is Gragas? Like, what is happening here when your bottom lane turret is getting exposed?
It's a free inhibitor. They're not going to back in time. Gragas not going to be here for the engage. JDG just saying, all right, we'll take it.
This is the easiest parade. They don't even have to pay the fees for it.
I mean, SOFM was still backing at that point. He moved a little bit, moved down.
There we go.
And then he was like, all right, now I'll back.
It took him some time. I feel like slowly the Colonel is starting to realize how clean this is. Give me 90.
You know what I'm doing after this, Raz?
What?
I'm going to go out for a bite to eat.
Yeah?
You know where I'm going to go?
McDonald's?
Yeah. JDG and Snake, bring this to a game 3. JDG and Snake, do not look on par in this game 3. JDG 1 step ahead. The Snake we saw in game number 1 was exceptional. But JDG have firmed themselves up. And at this point in the game, so many elements have come online. But Fen, Kassadin, 2 items, Tear still stacking up at 24 minutes in the game. Rod of Ages may be fully there, but still, you have an Aurelia who you need to catch up as well. Late game elements here of Snake still have to deal with 6,000 gold lead of JDG and an open inhibitor.
And it's just trying to pile on. Wait a minute, Gragas and Kassadin are both in pretty vulnerable positions. You already see JDG starting to lean in that direction. Nice ward that's just catching them out, but it's worse to worse to worse. You gotta find and engage here, and it has to start with that Kassadin.
Yeah, so FM takes 1 orb, quarter health. Ashura slows down the support, saving the top side of the map. But Zoom's still going here. Maiden is up 2.
They're doing a lot to try and clear out this wave before the rest of the members come in, but that's 3 members too many. Yep. Mid lane is going to be the primary focus. Take a look at the minion wave coming through the mid lane right now.
1 more minion wave at the Baron buff, 25 seconds, that crashes in, slowed down by Flandre. Binding does land onto Ashura, Vanguard's edge is out. Imp just walks up, too far, you're hoping for an Imp mistake, it's not there yet.
Imp calling out the bluff there from Irelia, saying, I don't know if you really want to dash right into me right now. Even if you do, I'm pretty sure I have the mechanics to use my Condemn to just back you up and away from me.
Yep. He's had some interesting moments, but he's also had some stellar moments in this series. And Snake dealing with it now. Another inhibitor drops down. The inhibitor timings are so off as well. There's always going to be creeps running into the base of Snake.
And that's what the most annoying thing about it. At least Flandre can deal with it, and you'll be able to just pick up the experience and gold. It's always the plus. But the game is moving way too quickly. And I don't think they're going to be able to stop JDG. If they do, it's going to be in the Gragas cast that follows up. The Galio taunt has to be big.
Yeah. Where has it been so far? Maestro with an ultimate hasn't been impactful. JDG now dealing with it. Last inhibitors here. Zoom frontlining here. Final hour in the back. Explosive cast. But Maestro's first to go. Fate's call. Ashura says, go that way. We need to leave. Everyone from Snake's alive as Redemption comes back down. Fen as well. Dodges away. Triple inhibitor down. Now JDG. Another Baron is in the cards.
This is when morale just goes that far low. You don't have the minions to be, counting on anymore. And right now, SOFM just feels a little sluggish. Look at him.
You know the song, when I first saw this on Twitter by the Riot devs?
Nope.
You know, Drunken Sailor?
I did not see that.
Yeah, well, you should use Twitter more, Raz. But the Gragas song that goes with the walk is absolutely fantastic. You're right, though. SOFM, to be fair for Snake, they can't have any subpar games. They have to have 100% magnificent games, I guess, to put it in silly terms.
You know what is a great song to tag with the Gragas walk?
Okay, let's go.
So, for anybody that's played Super Mario RPG, have you?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
uncultured. Just that one moment when Mario has to go full gold and act like he's a statue and stand while the Dodo just starts hitting statues. Yep. It is the dumbest song possible, and I think it fits it very well.
Okay. Uncultured. You play Maple Story, Raz?
Hell yeah!
Oh, you did?
Windia, my friend.
Dude, that's a broer. What are you doing?
You're the worst.
No, I'm not.
Either way, we'll have this conversation afterwards.
Yeah,
and
we'll get there.
I'll show you which ones.
Okay, maybe you'll culture me. I would like to see where Snake go from here. There is still an opportunity in this game. And yes, I know you're sitting at home and saying, Hysterix, you're bonkers.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Baron may go down here with triple inhibitor, but you still have a Kassadin, you still have an Aurelia. I still see the potential. I'm an optimist, even though JDG are putting the nails in the coffin here with a second Baron buff. Maybe too much optimism here. It looks like JDG now, for their final push, will ask Snake if they're ready.
Yeah, let's see how it works. I mean, triple in it. The last time I've seen this work was EDG when they had Deft and Pawn, and they were going up against Newbie, and Newbie
I saw OMG do something similar.
That was similar, but not as crucial as that.
True.
Here it is. This is the hope. You don't have the wave clear. You just have to fight.
Do I have optimism? Not with the flawless duet missing. Already Nexus turret at half health. Fen burned down as well. Not level 16 on the Kassadin, has to go in. Imp ult immediately goes gold with the dodges, but on the front line, SFM drops as well. Snake being war mode in. That's Scatter the Weak from Yagao. My voice cannot handle you, sir. With a Syndra this good, Yagao showing that playoffs is theirs to be taken. JDG marching on that Nexus like it is theirs. They own it. They sit Snake down. And JDG with 9 wins, looking damn good.
9K goal lead. They play that one right slow too, and you have to. You get pushed to a game 3, and you don't want to make any more mistakes versus Snake. JDG is looking stronger and stronger in Beijing. You'll like to see it happen because finally we're seeing the Dumpling Brothers come online, and Imp is starting to have his moments. So they're looking good. You're getting closer to playoffs. You're getting geared up and ready for it. While Snake, I mean, I like the fact that they're getting stronger. It's just getting harder and harder now. Their playoff hope are starting to just getting slimmer and slimmer.
They have to beat OMG, LGD. Even then, at 6 wins, if they can find that, this game could come back to haunt them, much like the games in Week 9 in the LPL for Spring.
Yeah, certainly can. That's the difficulty here is for Snake. A lot of the pickups that they have were fairly late.
Yeah.
I think the pickup for Fen, realizing that both Andy and Mala are just not working for their team. It took some time. It was literally just like week 8 that this change started coming through, and it paid off. it's just unfortunate that you still can't deal with the best of them, and JDG were able to deal with them with just their solo lane powers.
Yagao was the best of them. Imp fought back in that matchup. Let's start with the bottom lane, because Asura played this exact matchup in game 1 and looked better for it.
Yeah. I mean, at least there wasn't a solo kill happening that was involved, but it was Imp that was far more respectful. I think he recognized that his strength was coming through from every lane, to be fair. The only advantage that was happening on the side of Snake was in that top lane. Flandre was getting a CS lead, but wasn't able to look for a fight on towards the Zoom. Zoom, once he hit 6, you saw how difficult it was to force a fight when he had his Maiden at all times. So that's the difficulties there. I like the fact that Snake is starting to get better, more disciplined around their play. So in the beginning of the split, for people who watched that, the fact that they were getting early game leads and then just falling flat on their own plays, I'm not seeing that anymore.
No.
This was a different story in this series where they didn't have the early game leads because they had built too much scaling elements in their team. And I think that picking a top lane that does well in the matchup is fine for a lot of teams. It's harder to play around. And in particular, if you lose out bottom lane push, then that's easy direction for your jungler. That's something they'll recognize. I think they'll get better at doing, knowing that Asura is just a strong AD carry.
Very strong.
And, you know, Snake will be looking towards next split pretty gleefully. Now, they still have a chance going into playoffs, but right now, I think that these changes work so well in the long run.
They really do. We want to see Snake return to, I guess, former glory. It has been many a splits where they have missed out on playoffs, where they have missed out on their opportunity.
Yeah.
The team that, you know, hasn't gone to Worlds. Like, still, Flandre, you look at him. Top player who's been there since 2015. Where has he been? To the LPL. So we want to see him rise to occasion. For Snake, that's always been the story of an inch too far, or maybe a kilometer in some cases.
And I like that JDG as, you know, juxtaposing that. They've come into the LPL, they came in with a big bang. They were doing so well, and I was worried that losing one of their two strongest players, not only is Clid gone towards SKT and there's greener pastures in that area where he's finding a lot of success alongside Faker, but then you see right now Loken moving to TOP. He's living high in life. He's doing real well. So JDG have been struggling, trying to find a way to their primary carry in Imp feels comfortable, and that they recognize that that's going to be their future. Before, I think a lot of the times when he gets into team fights, gets too into his head, and he tends to make all the wrong decisions there, while the laning phase has been really good for Bavoy. So it's just like, essentially, what do you want? Do you want Imp's carry potential in team fights? Do you want Bavoy within the laning phase keeping you up in the early game?
I think it's so interesting that for this split, just looking at it holistically, that JDG have taken a chance on Imp. You know, coming from LGD, coming from Imp, and people go, well, you know, is this man washed up? You know, to put it harshly.
They made that transition pretty late. It was basically after Demacia Cup that they were looking for another AD carry to challenge Bavoy. So I think they were basically on the market too late, thinking that they could hold on towards Loken. That's basically all of that. For them, it was difficult to get to that point in the spring split, really trying to get all the pieces together. And I think that those pieces are pretty fine pieces. You get those pieces and you're like, hey, I mean, this is a good element. We're still in the playoffs. We still have a lot of time to work until these best of fives where Yagao and Zoom have always been our primary carries. That hasn't changed. We got Flawless. Like, that is huge, having our second best jungler of 2018 coming into our team now. It's like, you check the boxes and all the boxes look good. It's just trying to find you know, a way for your AD carry to be transitioning into your team in a pretty seamless fashion. I think it's more so on Imp to really be more disciplined in elements, because I think he's too I guess he's a big risk taker. He's a type of person to just feel like he should be able to walk in and it's all fine, that he has the pressure, and that's not the case. So those are all the the gloomy effects that I have for JDG. But for now, I'm seeing a great future for them going into the playoffs.
I like the future of Flawless as well. Out of coming of Rogue Warriors in 2018, now to 2019 to JDG, setting themselves up for playoffs. I know you didn't see the Vietnamese matchup, but look at Flawless.
Yeah.
He's looking at you, Raz.
Look.
You know?
Look.
What is this?
Look, I ain't saying a damn thing about Flawless abilities, all right? I think they could get the win versus Snake. Doesn't matter who's their jungler. I just want to see the battle in Vietnam. That's all I want to see.
I know.
Am I asking for too much?
Apparently, next time.
He got himself an MVP, so I mean, he made his point. But come on.
He did pretty well. All right, so of course you're not talking about skill because it was fantastic. Flawless had an absolutely fantastic series. I'm sorry, we'll get it next time. We'll get it next split, which is a while away. I'm sorry to say as well.
You're just trying to rub salt on my wounds.
Yeah, I am.
You better stop talking.
Raz, we're in week. No, I can't. We're going to keep going the show. Otherwise, it's just going to be weird. No, we'll go to standings. You can talk. If that's all right.
All right, let's go to the
All
standings.
right, man.
So,
go for it.
I mean, right in the standings, you see it. I mean, they won the series, so they're now at 9-3.
Okay.
Game difference pretty good too. All they have to be looking towards is Royal never give up to have better points.
Yeah.
But they need to be able to like see if they can get Royal never give up backing away from them. Remember, if you saw the summer split last year, it was RNG that leapfrogged JDG and got the better seeding in playoff time.
Sure.
They don't want that to happen again, but it really just means that RNG have to slip up a few more times, throw more banana peels at them.
Remember that with a team that's on 9 wins at the moment, this is not confirmed. This is hystericism, right? At 9 wins, you're feeling pretty safe. Chances you go to playoffs are high, but still with the middle of the pack being at 5 wins and 4 series left to go for a lot of them means that you're not exactly safe. Of course, RNG looking for a win later, as you said. Well, they'll be versing IG later on in the week as well, which is just absolutely amazing. Man, you know what our match of the week is?
What is
really good segue. Throw it up, Mr. Director. This is the summer finals rematch. Went all the distance, Raz. I know you were there, and let me say, watching from home, this crowd was bonkers.
That went to a Game 5. Everyone was expecting Invictus Gaming to come out as victors. They had their historic split coming out. It was like 18-1. Like so many times, they got the distance, and they could have had a clean sweep in the regular season. But guess who stopped them? RNG in spring, RNG in summer, and now we get that rematch in, later on in the split. If you cast your mind back to, I keep doing this, old Matt Raz. I'm sorry, I'm basically Juan Guy.
I was about to say.
Yeah. That just going into the playoffs, Invictus Gaming got the win in towards RNG and set the field, set the tone there. I'm expecting RNG versus IG to be just as fiery as the games we essentially saw just today.
I'm waiting for it. I'm looking forward to it. They've left it to week 9 for a reason, to cap off the split and lead us into week 10 and to playoffs as well. We're back tomorrow with same expectations, but not us. Of course, it is the Chinese broadcast because it's a Tuesday. You can see this on Huya and Douyu. Raz, what are you looking at there? I see WNTFP in a new light now.
Yeah, you're right. But for me, it's the teams that are not facing each other. It's Sino Dragons and Team WE. Remember, they're sitting at that possible 6-game marker. If Team WE wins, that slashes the hope for our bottom 4 teams where they were trying to say Vici Gaming, OMG, do we have a chance? Well, if Team WE wins, I'm sorry, you don't have a chance.
But a good story for WE.
Yeah.
Never thought we'd get to this point in the split and actually hype up WE.
Yeah, Team WE are looking good. And I thought that it was just going to be it's the effect of bringing in Beishang. The Beishang effect, suddenly it changes everything. And it extends the game for them.
Yeah.
They're not losing in the early game anymore. The early game gets prolonged. They get to the late game factor where Mystic and CA can come off strong.
And I love Post. Post is...
You always try and find that hipster take.
Man, no, it's not a hipster take. He plays Poppy, and Poppy's in the LPL look great. Wednesday. You're going to be back on Wednesday? Maybe
yeah,
not you.
We'll see.
We won't be together. That's fine. We're shifting gears. I'm going to leave you, Raz. EDGB. Right. Oh, it just gets better, doesn't it? EDG, BLG.
Ooh.
RNG, JDG. Yeah.
Oh, and that's the Beijing Derby. That derby right there. That's what that is. RNG versus JDG. I wonder which. I know we're going to be in Beijing, but what venue are we going to be in? Is it going to be Wukesong? Is it going to be in I forget what it's called. Qizhou Ba? That's what it's called in Chinese. I can't believe I remember the Chinese before the English word. 789, thank God. Okay. I had to be reminded the English word for that. Just let that out there.
Your Chinese is good, Raz.
No, it's not. But that means that we get to go to Beijing and find out who's better, JDG versus RNG. Remember, JDG's fears, they don't want to get leapfrogged by RNG again.
Yep.
They get to be the deciders of that.
That's Wednesday. And Wednesday looks absolutely insane. It ramps up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Week number 9 is actually off the chain, and it is only just beginning. If you don't tune into the LPL, you're missing out. This has been Raz. I've been Hysterics. We probably will be next time as well. And we'll see you back for the English broadcast to start off and kick off Wednesday. Let's go.